Here at O'Brien, I like to help others, and that's kind of my thing that I love to do, is be able to help upcoming designers realize like their vision and help them create projects that are meaningful to them and to others, and obviously ultimately our clients and those that we're partnering with. So my role is to look at how those designs evolve and make sure that they're all in the right direction and align with all of our values, so that we can all have the same kind of approach to design, but also making sure the output that we're creating is meaningful. There's been a handful of people here at O'Brien that really guided me along my design journey. Jack O'Brien, Mick Granlund, David Culbertson, Sean O'Brien. I've grown a lot to understand how a project comes together, how you look at it one way when you first start it, and how it evolves into something that's meaningful and beautiful at the very end. So, and it's really fulfilling to see that project built. And that's one thing that we really pride ourselves, is that we design and draw buildings that can be built. There's so many times where we feel like there are designs that we see from other studios that are amazing, but when reality comes and you see that the client wants this to be feasible and successful, sometimes it doesn't quite make it there. So at times they'll call on us to say, hey, can you kind of look at this, and what's your perspective on this? And so we've been very fortunate and lucky to be able to help act as like a trusted advisor for some of these clients that come in and want a different perspective on how can we make this a real project? How can we make this engage the community and create this sense of community within each project? Our philosophy is we check our egos at the door. We don't need our design to look the same for each client, and we're very sensitive to the context of the community and where this project's going to exist within the built environment. So we're very conscious of the design decisions that we make with our clients to make sure that it does fit and make sure that it feels seamless with the landscape. I think there is some sort of idea of what you think architecture is after you're in school. You think, I'm going to be designing this very modern typology within this urban like landscape. And so I think you run into a culture that's a lot different than what you experience in school. I think it's a healthy thing that we all experience, and we start to understand, okay, how do we make, like, there are all these factors, outside factors that play a part, whether it be city zoning or the budget, or just it's something that the client has asked of us to create, and we respond to it. And so it's a different way of looking at design a little bit than you would when you were in school, when there is no budget. I think probably one of the most impactful projects that I was able to be a part of was the Star. Being able to work with that entire development team was something that was so memorable, once in a lifetime opportunity. That project really taught me how to be open to collaboration with other consultants. And again, we didn't have big egos. We wanted to hear other perspectives, whether it be through the landscape architect or the experiential designer. Having all these disciplines come together was amazing to see and to be a part of. I think what we're focusing and what I feel like is evolving is just really focusing on experience-centered design. So what that means to me is design that you create so that others can experience this shared experience, and you focus all the design around that. So for example, it could be instead of a shopping center with a bunch of parking all around, why not create a small pocket park, or something that can integrate seamlessly into the design and have kind of create these areas of like delight and pause for those that are using it. So I think that's something that I always try to focus is like, how can you bring in something that'll be memorable and something that'll impact the lives of those that are using it. What makes a great moment to me is within the architecture and built environment, I think is something that makes someone curious and engages them in a way that's a lot different than what you would normally think. So it could be murals or art or installations that are integrated within the built environment or within that project. It could be materials that feel just really integrated into the landscape, and it feels like it's just so blended in. So just having these touch points, whether it be materiality, architecture, art, experiential areas that make it really feel special, and it gives it another layer of the pedestrian scale. I think that's really important to integrate into these projects. Part of it is just iterations. As you're going through this design process, if an idea comes to you or to a designer, we want to see what that could potentially be. And so we don't need it to be fully executed. We just want to see something that is easy to digest like really quickly to see if it is the right direction we want to take this. As long as we see a bunch of ideas from all of our designers, once we do a lot of these, something will evolve from it, and the right solution does kind of reveal itself always. To me, when I think experience, like centered design, you're thinking about not just architecture, you're not thinking about how the look of this particular retail tower is going to affect the facade. It's how can you create something that is a shared moment that everyone wants to be a part of, and then the architecture and the landscape come with that. So it could be a simple outdoor gathering space, a large amphitheater, installation within an alley. There's a lot of different things that create these like special moments and touch points. But having just understanding that a lot of people want to connect, and creating those like spaces for them to connect and providing those opportunities, I think is really special. And I think it's something that we want to make sure all of our projects that are of that typology have, and we share that with everyone.